On April 27, 1974, in a western Canadian town called Calgary, Steve and Susan Musulak unleashed their first spawn upon the world, Colin Joseph Musulak.
He was a perfect baby. He slept all the time. Sleep 3 hours, eat, sleep 3 hours, eat, and sleep. Continued his whole life that way.
I understand that he was a small baby. 7 pounds and 15 ounces is what I've been told.
Colin, as a baby, never cried. Like I said, he just slept and ate and smiled. And we didn't know he could cry. I thought there was something wrong with his tear ducts till he was about 6 or 7 months old when he actually cried. He also never crawled. He crawled 2 steps over to a table, pulled himself, and started walking.
For the most part, Colin was a happy child who enjoyed the company of his family and friends. In spite of his generally happy disposition, Colin was predisposed to the occasional violent outburst, usually resulting in a pool of tears and a subsequent grounding. These groundings would become a recurring theme in his adolescent years. Being the first nephew, Colin was often called upon by the family to perform duties as a ring bearer. As a child, his aunties all thought he was just as cute as a button, a trait which would unfortunately fade by puberty.
When he was in high school, like if you look at his graduation picture, he had this wicked, I guess it was kind of like Patrick Swayze and Ghost, just this wavy brown hair. And it was a pretty rapid transition, and he went through a phase of denial, I guess, probably, and had to ended up with this kind of a hairpiece type of thing, and then eventually he just came to terms with it and bicked her all off. And to be honest with you, I think he's always resented me a little bit because he's got scraps and I shave my goldy locks. They'd just be flowing, but I choose to shave them.
After high school, Colin's interest began to turn towards music. He started playing drums and jamming with his brother James and a variety of other musician friends. This marked the beginning of a long and financially disastrous career.
He'd never been in band, but he wanted to learn the drums. He brought those drums home and he learned to play them, and he played with some of his friends from high school for a while.
Loud. I remember being young, coming home from school and being pissed off that the music was so loud.
I was about 16 years old in high school, and around the same time Colin was starting to play drums with some of his buddies in different bands. It wasn't long before we were playing together. I've pretty much been playing in bands of one form or another since as long as I've been playing music with Colin. In the summer of '97, we had some songs written with Colin and Chris and myself, and our guitar player dropped out, so we went to Winnipeg to record the songs, and Big James offered to play guitar with us. That was sort of the start, I think, of our real musical career. From there, we came back and we started another band called Gigawatt, which we did for a couple years, and we toured to British Columbia with.
Gigawatt's guitar player Nick Furtado soon left the band, and the remaining members of Gigawatt found themselves in search of a new member. After auditioning dozens of shitty players, they finally found a new bandmate in Daniel Martinez. With a new addition came a new sound, and thus Gorilla Funk Monster was born.
Because you keep on telling me about your problem. Everybody's got the problem. You keep telling me about your problem. Hell, I've got my problems too.
To promote the release of their debut album Tryptophonic, Gorilla Funk Monster decided to go all out and set up a cross-Canada tour. This was the birth of what would become known infamously as the 20,000-kilometer argument.
Colin and I have been, playing the music together for a long time, and we've developed an interesting relationship.
You've got confirmation.
Yeah.
You just told me a while that you called him and the phone was busy. So how'd you talk to him about that?
Talk to him in my mind.
There you have it. And that's his argument. He talked to them in his mind, and now that's his argument. You talked to him in my mind.
Demon? You didn't know. You told me Demon had shit. You told me they were organized. You showed up. You didn't even know where the place was. You didn't know what play he had. You didn't have anything that he told you had. I didn't see you crying about that. We should have refused to play. We should have refused to play the fucking show in his backyard.
I remember a lot of fights happened with the band. And, well, I shouldn't say the band so much as between James and Colin.
James, we just had a talk about fucking communicating on stage.
And
you can't. No, James, shut up.
It won't happen again.
Shut up.
It won't happen again.
Shut up for a second.
It won't happen again.
Well, shut up for a second.
Some people have told us that we live and work in a high-level environment, and that's probably true. I mean, there's instances where people have been brought to tears by, things that we thought were pretty cool.
I want to talk to you. You're getting that on videotape because you just look like such an idiot. That's what a guy who's an idiot does. Don't be an idiot.
Somehow there were always arguments, and then everything was fine.
I think even though we've gotten pretty intense over the years, it usually blows over within minutes or sometimes, a day at most. I remember, meeting up with a variety of people all over the country, and they're always fascinated by Colin because he's a big, kind of intimidating guy, but he's very approachable, and he's really excited to talk to people. And I mean, he's kind of kept that throughout the years. It's one of the the big things that people sort of immediately gravitate towards him.
Better if you come down to the show and get the full thing. The double disc. I think you should think really hard about it. It's going to be awesome. All right, ladies. See you later.
In the fall of 2004, Colin moved to Winnipeg to open Absurd Machine Studios with James Rewucki and Mike Sanders. This move eventually led to the formation of his current band, Dr Rage The Uppercuts.
So the morning sun penetrate your eyes. Drive like crazy till the lines on the road flashing by got you hypnotized. I know why you run. I know why you run.
Dr Rage and the Uppercuts have been going strong for 9 years, Colin's longest relationship to date. In that time, they have opened for Bo Diddley, played major festival stages, recorded 3 studio albums, and received airplay around the globe. With the road wide open ahead, and Colin's drums driving out the beat, who knows where the music will take them next? Hopefully, somewhere outside of Winnipeg. For the love of Christ.